Hello everybody, I am of course the Invertebrarian. Thank you for coming and joining me here today on my channel. If you are new to the channel, please of course do consider subscribing because it's why I do this. So today's video is going to feature my HIRUDO VERBANA, which is a leech. Not to be mistaken with the HIRUDO medicinalis, which is the medicinal leech. These are a protected species. The one I have does not fall into that category, although they are within the same family group. The keeping of a leech, whilst fascinating, is something that shouldn't be taken too lightly. The HIRUDO family can live for a whopping 20 years. As they are hermaphrodite, meaning they're both male and female, so if you have two leeches, chances are you will get cocoons on the mossy bank area if you provide one. The interesting thing about keeping leeches is they are far more misunderstood than anything else I keep in my collection. One of the reasons is because while I have to feed all of these, crickets, hoppers, roaches, those kind of things, with the Verbana, I am the food. I am the one that basically keeps my leech alive. In this video, I will be feeding my leech. You will see my leech feeding. It's done through a lot of time lapse. Towards the end of this video, there is a bit of blood when it detaches, so be warned if you're not good with blood, that kind of thing. There's a very brief moment of blood. When a leech detaches, they will have pumped you full of an anticoagulant. And what this basically means is that your blood is incapable of clotting. So even after that leech is detached, you will bleed for a very, very long time afterwards. Normally, I think normally takes about 4 to 6 hours to stop, but it does slow down. It's not like gushing out that whole time. So the mouth parts of a leech is a kind of Y shape, and what this does is it latches on. I'll try and add a wee picture of a leech's mouth parts up there. This latches on and it kind of cuts the flesh open, and it hangs on. During the process of feeding, this feed took about an hour that you're away to witness in this video. During the process of feeding, you don't actually feel it, apart from when it's starting to get a bit more weighty and it perhaps is struggling to maintain a grip. It uses its foot at the back end to kind of to suction on, as well as obviously being suctioned on to the bite mark, to the feeding area bite itself. And you can kind of feel it getting heavier occasionally. If it moves its position, you may feel a slightest tug, but overall when feeding a leech you don't actually feel anything at all. When you first latch on, it's like a little kind of, you can kind of feel it. It's nothing major. It's like a little kind of scratch. Is it kind of is cutting into your flesh, basically. But again, because the way it does it, you're not really aware that it's there unless you're sitting staring at it. So it's a very subtle feeder, if you will. As I say, leeches are not for everybody, but I kind of want to make this video so that people could maybe see them in a different way and understand that they're not just these horrible parasitic creatures. They're actually really quite fascinating. And mine, once fed, has gone a very, I've had mine go up to 18 months without needing fed in between. So it's not like they need fed every other month or whatever. They can sustain, live off that big feed for a very, very long time. And as mentioned, I think mine went 18 months. Between the last feed and this feed might have been even longer still. But anyway, we're going to go on and I'll pop up some bits of information stuff on the screen as you watch this. But anyway, hopefully you will enjoy this, and as again, be warned, there is a little bit of blood towards the end. But let's crack on with the actual video. moment of blood is about to come up just any minute now, so you might, if you're not good with that, you might want to scroll. You have to move on. So as it's fed, it's back in its water, it'll probably be fine for another year or two. As mentioned, you really don't need to feed all that often. Periodically, if I think it's been a long time without feeding, I will take it out and offer it. If it doesn't latch on, it will go back in its water and be left for probably another month or two before I try. Obviously, if it's looking skinny or something, I will make sure I feed it. After a feed, you will have a wound once it stops bleeding. You may wish to take an antihistamine. This will help with the sort of itching because it can get a bit kind of itchy. An antihistamine will certainly help. As for the dressing, some people use feminine hygiene products. Other people will just wrap with some kind of bandage or gauze. The most important part is you obviously keep it until eventually the blood is capable of clotting itself, and it's kept clean like any other injury you or cut you may sustain on yourself. I'm going to put in a wee bit of video covering the few days that preceded, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like afterwards. And as mentioned, like any cut injury, keep it clean, keep it dressed until it's scabbed over, and if you've got any side effects, an antihistamine should help. So here's that footage of the days preceding my feeding. So that is it for me, guys. If you found this video useful, interesting in any way whatsoever, please pop your comments down below. As mentioned earlier in the video, a leech is not particularly something that is for everybody. It is quite a big commitment, especially with being the food source yourself. It's advised you do not share your leech with other people. You know, you should be the food source for your leech. And yeah, they are really interesting, fascinating pets to own, to watch them swim, and it's just something a little bit different from everything else. And again, hugely misunderstood and still used for many a remedy. People use them for all kinds of things, still worldwide for medicinal values. So yeah, absolutely fascinating little creatures. If you found this video interesting, pop your comments down below. Love reading them. In the meantime, do be good, be kind, look after yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.
Thumbs up.
And yeah, remember, give it a thumbs up. Thanks, wee man. High five. Thumbs up.